Hello, welcome to my bookshelf, and today I'm super excited as always to unbox the Bookie Box. And as you can probably tell, the box itself actually looks a little different this month. So normally the Bookie Box is orange as far as the color scheme goes, and it's always the same design. This month Julia has decided to experiment a little bit, I think, and so now we are getting the theme of the box on the front of the box. So if you don't know, I should probably back up and just tell you guys that the Bookie Box is a monthly subscription service full of bookish goodies, and each month has its own theme. And so this month, you can probably tell that the theme is War Among Oceans. And the cover depicts a beautiful mermaid on it, and honestly, I'm really excited about it because honestly, who doesn't like mermaids? It should be interesting. So, without further ado, I am going to now unbox the Bookie Box. So, another thing that I always like about the box is how easy it is to open. Just one little cut, and the box is ready to be opened. Okay, so I will let you guys look inside. This is what it looks like when you open it. I like to hide it from myself. I think it's kind of fun to experience it one by one and go from there. So again, this is the cover art for the theme this month, War Among Oceans. And this is also the spoiler card, so I'm going to wait until the end to really look at it. So I will just try to anyway, set it up back here. And let's see what's all in here. So, ooh, the first item is a beverage container of some kind. Wow, okay. So, taking off the plastic as much as I can. I think this is, okay, got that plastic off. Okay, so it's a container, as you can tell. I guess, I don't want to say it's a thermos, because I don't think it's like insulated per se, but it is kind of like a, I guess a water bottle, or like a, probably just a water bottle. I think water is what is meant to be in here, any kind of like cold liquid. I don't think it's like meant for coffee, because you know, like thermoses like that are usually like insulated and stuff. But either way, you can put beverages in here. And I'm going to read the quote on here as well. So it says, "Before she took the mermaid's voice, she gave up her own heart." And it says that the quote is from Sea Witch, which I'm assuming is a book. I haven't heard of it, but that's not really saying a whole lot. So this is a unique design to it. I must say I've never seen a water bottle quite like this before, where there's a quote like wrapping around it like that. It makes it a little hard to read, I will say, but I think it's an interesting quote, and it makes me curious about this book, The Sea Witch. But yeah, I would say the only bad thing about this is that the picture on it, it's just a little too blown up, so it's a little less crisp as it could be, if that makes any sense, you know? But honestly, I still really like it, so it's kind of a minor complaint, but it's just something I noticed here. But I do like this design as far as like a water bottle goes. I think it's really interesting. I've never seen one that quite looks like this. I like that there's a handle on it, and it's also really protected, I'm seeing, because there's like an extra lid there. This is interesting. I'm very curious to see how it works when I'm actually drinking out of it, but I think it's really cool. And something I've noticed that I really enjoy about this box compared to other subscription boxes I've had is that I feel like there's more practical items in here, and I personally really appreciate that. So it's both nice looking and fun, but practical. Like, I'm going to actually use this stuff. So obviously I need a water bottle. I mean, who doesn't, right? So that's the first item. Okay. Okay, pencils. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a pen or something, and there's two of them in here. Now I don't know if that was on purpose, because they look the exact same and they have the same quote on it. So I don't know if I'm supposed to have two, but I like it. So the quote on here is, "Everyone's immortal until they're not." From A Darker Shade of Magic. I actually read that book. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to try to do my best to show you the quote. It's always really hard for me to tell how in focus it is because I can't see the camera, so hopefully you can read that or make it out, or at least see that there is a quote on there. I really like the way that this pencil looks, I'm going to be honest. I really love the like charcoal gray look to it. I think it's really pretty. I personally like that. Yeah, and I love the font that the quote is written in as well. I love cursive, so I think that's really sharp. So I like it. I really, really do. Yeah, I don't know if I want to sharpen them and use them because then at some point it's going to destroy the quote, but maybe that's why there's two. One for display, one for use. I don't know. But I personally like pencils, not for everything, but I do think there's certain things that I would rather write in pencil than pen. So I'm old-fashioned that way, I think. Okay, so I think I came across the candle. So she always puts a candle in her boxes, and I love candles. And I actually recently used up one of the candles I got from her just the other day, and it smelled great. I really enjoyed having a candle. Okay, so this candle is called Prince Elian. Could be a lot of different things. I am terrible at names. And the smell is blood orange, driftwood, and black sea. And as always, it's a soy candle. And again, something I've noticed from Julia is that, candles have these unique smells. They're not just, vanilla. There's something different about them. And honestly, every single time, they're all different, but they all smell really good. And I personally really enjoy them. So that's what that looks like. I don't know what book this prince is from, but okay. I had to smell it. I really, really like this one. And this is hard too because it's hard to describe a smell to someone, but okay, so I will say, it says orange on there, and you can smell the orange, but it's not overwhelming. It's more subtle. It's not like in your face, obnoxious as far as smells go, which I appreciate. But obviously, there's other smells to it as well, and I'm assuming that's like the driftwood, where it's more, I kind of want to say earthy, if that makes sense. Kind of like an earthy orange-ish smell to it. Like I said, it's different, but I'm really liking that smell a lot, actually. And I'm always sad because the candles, they don't last, forever. So I can only light them so many times before I no longer have that wonderful candle. So I'm always torn between lighting them, I don't know if anyone else ever feels that way, but I just want to keep them almost just to smell them, which is weird. Okay, so I'm feeling something on top here. Okay, it's tea. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was coffee or tea. So this is what it looks like. So looking on the back here, it's a green tea and a chamomile tea. And then there's also hibiscus, orange peel, cranberries, and rose hips. All of which sound really good to me personally. I love teas with orange peel in it. I've recently discovered that, and honestly, so good. But normally, the ones I've seen anyway were like combined with black tea, not green tea. And I love green tea much better than I do black tea, so I'm really, really excited to test out this combination. So it's called Sea Foam and Storms, and I guess it's just orange hibiscus is kind of the name of the tea itself. And apparently it's inspired by the Little Mermaid and Renaissance. I'm not really sure what the Renaissance part is. That's really interesting to me. I'm super excited. I love tea, and I personally don't like coffee, which is a little weird. So I'm always a little nervous about getting coffee because then I can't personally drink it. I mean, I would try it. I would definitely try it, but it's not something that I would personally enjoy nearly as much as tea. So I'm really, really excited that there's some more tea in here. I just love tea so much. So moving right along, I am feeling the book, and normally there's bookmarks in here, so I am going to remove the book and try to find the bookmark, which I found. Okay, so that Bookie makes her own bookmarks, which is really cool. And so there's a quote on this one, which I'm going to read to you and then show you what it looks like. So the quote is, "I live on the cusp of two worlds, trying desperately to fit into one." And that is what it looks like, and that's the quote. And it's a little different, and that's also something that I've always appreciated about everything that she does is, you know, it has the great quote on there, but also the designs are unique. And I don't know, I really enjoy all of them, honestly. They're all just very different, but I do enjoy all of them. There's not a single one that I haven't liked. You know, some you like more than others, but this one is wonderful as well. And so yeah, there's that one. I, again, don't know what the quote is from, but I will look at the spoiler card at the end to find out all of this. And as always, I like to show you the back of all of her bookmarks because I really love this design, and she puts them on the back of all of her bookmarks, and I just think it's really pretty. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. I love everything she does. I love her aesthetic. I think it's great. So time to finally get to the book. So lately, she's been putting them in these little bags instead of wrapping them up, which I kind of really like, and I'm gonna have to find a use for all these bags. But they're nice, you know? You can definitely be creative and use that for something. So, set that aside. As always, there's the signed book plate, so it's, you know, the author's signature, and you can put it in the book, which is what I always do. I cannot tell whose signature, or initials in this case, it looks like. And then there's also like a little note from the author as well, which I will definitely read later, but that's what it looks like. And then the book, ooh, which I like this cover. Covers are important to me, which I know you're not supposed to base a book on its cover, but I can't help it. So anyway, I really love this cover, so that's a good sign. So the book is called Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. And so there's that cover. Look at it. I really like it. It's very simple, but I don't know, it just really jumps out at me, and I'm really enjoying it. It looks really cool. Yeah, I really like that. So on the top here, it also says sisterhood is survival. I'm very curious to read what it's about. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to read the synopsis, and then I will get back to you to tell you guys what this is all about. Alright, so I just finished the synopsis, and it sounds really interesting to me. And honestly, because I haven't read this book, I find it easier to just like read the little blurb to you guys, then you can kind of form your own opinions about what you think this book will be like and if it's up your alley or not. So, this is what it says. The first in a heart-stopping trilogy that recalls the undeniable feminine power of Wonder Woman and the powder keg action of Mad Max Fury Road. Sea Fire follows the captain of an all-female ship intent on taking down a vicious warlord's powerful fleet. Now I read that and I was like, I'm so excited for this book. That sounds really interesting to me. I personally don't think I've read any books involving, you know, ships or like captains or sailing or things like that. I like that we have an all-female crew. That'll be really interesting. So yeah, it's kind of got this like woman power vibe to it, which I think will be really interesting to read and a little different. So I'm excited for this one. It sounds like it'll be fun to read, and kind of exciting, like swashbuckling adventure a little bit. I mean, I don't think they're pirates, but you know, they're sailing on the ocean. I think it'll be interesting. Okay, so those are all the items in the box, and now I'm going to share with you the spoiler card. So on the back here, it tells you all the items that were in the box, and then you know, who the vendor was. So the first thing listed on here was Tea by Books and Leaf. The next item is an exclusive water bottle inspired by Sea Witch by the Bookie Box. So Julia from that Bookie is the one that created the water bottle. Let's see. What? Apparently the pencil is mood changing. Okay, I need to find these pencils. And then it says pencil, by the way, not pencil, so maybe she accidentally threw in an extra one for me, which I appreciate. Apparently it's a mood-changing one, so I'm going to try to see. Oh my gosh, it does. Do you see that? Like, it turns from a dark gray into like a whitish color, which is so cool. I did not know pencils could do that. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. I was wondering, and now a little bit you can kind of see on the end of it too, I made it change color. That is just so cool. I'm just in shock that that exists, and I love it, and I think it's, I'm just blown away. I mean, it's a simple little thing, but I think that's really cool. I did notice when I was showing you guys that like and I was going to mention it, but I was like, it's not really a big deal, that I thought it was just a discoloration, that the top here was a little lighter in color than the rest of it, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But apparently it's because it's a mood changing pencil. Wow, okay. That is cool. That is super cool. Okay, so, and as the quote says, it's inspired by a darker shade of magic. No surprises there. And it was created by the Bookie Box, Julia. So that is so cool, Julia. Honestly. So I guess the candle is by that Bookie, which, I mean, I knew that. She always puts her own candle in there. But I guess the book that it comes from is To Kill a Kingdom. So that's interesting. I personally have not heard of that book, but that's not saying a whole lot. I don't usually follow fantasy that closely. I'm not as familiar. The Bookmark was inspired by Daughter of the Pirate King, which makes sense. I've heard about that book quite a bit. So it seems to be pretty popular and well liked by people, so that's really cool. And like I mentioned before, it was created by that Bookie. And then, let's see, the last thing, of course, is the book. So on here it also says that it comes with a letter from the author and a signed book plate, which it did. So that is the spoiler card. That's what it looks like, in case you're wondering. But yeah, so it just shows you everything in the box. Alright, so those were all of the items in this box. The last thing in here is a preview, if you will, of next month's theme. And I would just like to say here that as much as I do genuinely enjoy this box, I had to, at least temporarily, cancel my subscription to it just because of my own financial situation. I can't afford it as of right now, but I do genuinely really enjoy it. So if I do have more of a disposable income in the future, I will definitely renew my subscription because I do genuinely like these boxes. I'm not, making that up. I do genuinely like all the stuff I get in here. So, right now I can't afford it after this point, so I won't be able to experience and unbox this next month's themed box, but I will at least let you guys know what it is. So September's theme is Witches in the Other World, and that is the beautiful cover art for that one as well. It does sound interesting. I obviously do enjoy stories about witches and wizards, but it is what it is, right? Being an adult sucks sometimes, huh? But, yeah, so this might be my last unboxing. Hopefully not forever, but at least for the time being, just because I can't right now do it. But that's okay. I did really, really enjoy unboxing it at least one last time for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time.